Do you want to double the size of the audience of people reading your emails? You can do this by focusing on your open rates. It's one of the lowest hanging fruits that drive email marketing performance, and yet I still see so many brands with sub 30% open rates. You're going to learn the 3-step process that we use to improve open rates to over 50%, and most importantly, maintain it at that level. But before we try to improve our open rates, we have to first understand what the problem really is. If you have 30% open rates, then that means 7 out of 10 people aren't opening or aren't engaging with your emails. There's really only 2 reasons for that. Firstly, your emails just don't feel relevant to your readers. And secondly, your content honestly could just suck. So improving your open rates really comes down to, firstly, making sure that all your emails feel relevant to your readers, and secondly, just setting better content that people feel actually compelled to open up and read. So let's discuss that first step, which tackles how to make your emails feel more personalized, because honestly, it is the easiest part of the entire process. And that all begins with focusing on your subject lines and your preview texts.
Subject lines for emails are basically the equivalent of a hook in any of your ads or your organic content. And just like e-commerce ad hooks, you literally have 5 seconds to help a reader decide whether that email is going to be worth opening. While subject lines do like 80% of the heavy lifting for increasing your open rates, preview texts also help provide context to your subject line, which encourages the clicks on your email. So here are 4 ways to improve your subject lines and your preview text. Firstly, include personalization. So tools like Klaviyo have dynamic fields that allow you to personalize your emails at scale. So just to give you some examples here, on the left side, we have no personalization. On the right side, we have with personalization. So you could do something, a subject line, which is pretty generic, pretty bland, pretty boring, that says like, check out our bestsellers or time for your dog's next meal. But if you have some personalization, or if you have this data, which you can collect in things like Klaviyo, you can do first name, for example, Don, our best sellers chosen specifically for you, or is dog name, if you have your customer's pet name, dog name getting hungry. And now you can see how by personalizing the email, it makes it much more compelling to click. Secondly, you can just make your subject lines shorter. So you want to keep your subject lines under 7 words, because anything longer, it is going to be clicked inside of most email services, and then your hook is basically just going to be lost. So you can see here, right, a long subject line. Discover how product X can help you lose weight faster than ever before. Versus a short subject line, hit fat loss goals faster. Here's how. Or next one here, learn how to boost your email open rates with these simple and effective tips that you can start using today. Versus what I would prefer to use is 3 steps to increase open rates. Much more simple, much more to the point. Thirdly, you can use emojis. So emojis do stand out in crowded inboxes. Now, you don't want to overdo it and just start spamming them, but they do capture a lot more attention. You can see here, our sale of the year is ending, exact same subject line, but you can include a bit of sirens and that suddenly makes it much more interesting. Or delicious meals delivered to you. You can add a chef emoji and suddenly that makes all the difference. Then fourthly, we want to drive curiosity. You almost want to be clickbaity here. So you don't want to reveal too much too soon. You want to tease the content of your email. So for example, no curiosity here, keep subject lines 7 words or less. And then if you want to drive curiosity, we can take a completely different angle and say, are you making this subject line mistake? Now on the next slide here, we can see stop using bleach. Whereas if we want to add a bit of curiosity, then we can say the most harmful chemical in your home, ... So here are 8 subject line frameworks that we've tested, and these consistently get more than 50% open rates. So you can use these to get you started. So for example, got pain point, try this, 3 steps for a better benefit, the truth behind industry myth, last chance, first name. If you want certain outcome, you can try this, the secret to the benefit, say goodbye to a pain point, or first name, here's what others are saying. These are all great starting points for subject lines, so try these in your next campaign. Now the subject line hooks, but the preview text then sells. So the preview text, it adds context to the subject line. The preview text, it should build on the subject line and it should help clarify what the email is going to be about. Now it shouldn't actually repeat the subject line, meaning it should add new information that relates to the subject line. You do want to keep these under 9 words because it's the preview text. It's typically smaller in like email notification, so you can fit in a bit more words. So here's some effective examples. If the subject line is 30% of site-wide sales and in 24 hours, the preview text can go into shipping or it can say, we have Afterpay available. Or for example, if you have a subject line that says, got lower back pain, try this, then we can do something like the secret chiropractors don't want you to know about. Again, it adds a little bit of context to the whole subject line. It teases the email a little bit, but it really sells you on what's going to be inside of the email. So subject lines and preview text, it helps our customers identify the emails that are relevant to them. But we can also control who receives our marketing message through segmentation. So segmentation makes your emails much more relevant to customers by allowing you to tailor your content to specific groups within your audience. It's an underutilized method of improving open rates. Most brands constantly send emails to their entire email list and wonder why they're getting low open rates. But when you think about who's in your email database, it's probably going to look something like this, right? You're probably going to have a bunch of people who are like, I love this brand. I've purchased from them every day. They're a crucial part of my life. And you probably have a really big segment of people that have maybe just found you in like the last couple of weeks, who it's like, they see your email like, oh, it's these guys. And then you also have very likely a pretty big segment of people in your master email list that receive your emails and they have no idea who you are. They've completely forgotten how you even got their email. They have no idea how they found your brand. And so we need to account for this really big spread that we have on your email list. So what we want to do is we want to segment your email list to ensure that we're only speaking to people who have actually shown interest in your emails. We do this by setting up an engaged segment. Now, this is a very broad segment, but it is full of people who have either opened or clicked on one of your emails. The simplest way to set this up in Klaviyo is just with these parameters here. And instead of mailing your entire list, where there's always going to be a large group of people who aren't interested in your emails, you want to focus on mailing your engaged segment. That's because these guys have shown clear interest in your emails, which means the emails are obviously much more relevant to them and your open rates are going to increase. Now, while having better subject lines and segmenting your email list will improve your open rates, you're not actually going to sustain it there if your content sucks. So finally, the third step is simply just make better content. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and basically every other media platform that exists in the world, their number one goal is to keep users on their site. Now, they do this by focusing on creating the best user experience possible, and email service providers are exactly the same. So this means that your emails need to actually add value to someone's day, whether by entertaining them, educating them, or just solving a problem that they were thinking about. Now, you want your audience to see your brand's name in their inbox and immediately think, that is going to be a good email, I'm going to open it. And consistently sending good content is how you hit high open rates and actually maintain it there. So let's take a side-by-side comparison of these two guys' inbox. If this is your brand here, where you're just constantly sending these types of emails, right? Flash sales, the sales are never going to come back, and then it comes back the next day or the next week, right? Of course, people are going to see your emails and be like, I don't really want to open that. I don't really want to engage with that. Versus if you're this bloke and you open up your emails and you see these types of emails from a brand that says, industry myths busted, here's how our problem solve your problems, your FAQs answered, check out our top customer testimonials. These are emails that focus on a customer experience. And these are the types of emails that you're much more likely to engage with. Now, low open rates could actually be a sign that you have poor deliverability, because low open rates or open rates that are trending downwards, it's often the first sign that your brand might be starting to land in spam. So deliverability is actually the most important part of email marketing, which is why I've recorded a full training to help you diagnose whether or not you have poor deliverability and how to fix it. So I'll link it in the description or somewhere on the screen, and I'll see you in that video.